Okay, you want to frame up a different... Got it? So could one of you please begin by telling me where we are and what this used to be and the significance of this place to the unknown blues story.
Vaughan, you want to?
We're in the Centennial Hall in Invercargill. This is where every year they used to have the Battle of the Bands competition run by Benny Levin, and we entered 2 years and did quite well. I think we came second one year, and it used to be quite a place to be because all the bands would get backstage and socialise. We also played here with some other Auckland groups, the La-Di-Dahs and the Underdogs. So, yes, quite a few memories in here.
Could one of you two just tell me a little bit more about the dimensions of this place and how it would fill up with people and what it was like to play in such a big venue? Did you suffer from stage fright?
No, we never suffered from stage fright.
We're always too drunk.
The audience suffered from band fright.
But this place is huge, and it would be really filled up, like in the mid-60s, you know, no music in pubs, so everyone's out here, and this would be full, and I don't know, would this hold 1,000 people?
Easily.
It would have been full. Chocker, and I remember the applause meter was gaining, you know, would rate the bands how they were going to fare in this Coca-Cola sponsored, run by Benny Levin. And I would stand over there on the side of the stage with Benny, and he had this little whiskey flask, and Benny was a wonderful guy. He had these two, like, bouncer guys. It was like out of a gangster movie. So I decided, in my 18-year-old wisdom, to call him Benny the Pen. Was trying to get him to share a bottle with me, and he'd say, "Dave, you won on the meter, but you boys are too wild for Auckland." True story.
Yeah.
Barry, can you just tell me about the device that they had to measure applause? I'm kind of intrigued by
No, look, I can't remember.
Could one of you tell me? How did they,
It was
once I finished, how did they measure, how did they judge the band?
Yeah, I think the judge, they had some kind of an applause meter where they would record the applause for, you know, you do a half an hour and the applause at the end of each song, and it had a scale, you know, that would go on like a barometer kind of thing. And a whole busload of friends of ours came, who used to see us at the Cellar Club in Dunedin, come down, so all down the front of this stage was filled with Unknown Blues supporters, and of course the recording device was down near the front of the stage. And that's what Benny said to me, on the meter, whatever the meter was, I suppose it was a dial recording the volume and amount of applause. So, someone else who probably didn't get quite the needle up that high but looked a lot better and a lot more easy. Imagine us turned loose in Auckland.
More commercial.
Yeah,
No, but imagine us turned loose in Auckland in a motel. You know? I just can't, you know. I think the decision was probably the right one.
Now, looking at photos of your performance at the Battle of the Bands contest, I see you were wearing jandals on stage, Barry, which seems to be what you still wear these days.
Yeah, I just wear them. It depends what I'm doing. They come and they go. I'm not fussy. I've got my Sunday jersey on today. I know there are holes in the elbow. I forgot to come in.
Can I just get you to say that on stage I would often wear jandals, and you guys can chip in. I think it's sort of...
No, I didn't often wear them. I just wear them when it was did I often wear them? I don't know.
I think...
I don't know. Blue suede
I
boots
didn't really notice it until that caption in the paper, and then I thought, oh yeah, well, see, I'm just used to Barry wearing them even in the middle of winter, and I think he's a lot tougher than me. So
No, I got ripple-soled suede boots. That's what I mainly used to wear, and I'm still wearing them today. I've just worn those all my life.
It must have, some Battle of the Bands must have been a summer. He must have been a bit
Probably
warm,
summertime.
Summertime. I mean, if you look at that photo, Rocket might have his sister's sandals on.
There you go.
Well, if he hadn't in that photo, he definitely has in other ones. But I remember it would have been a summertime thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it was good weather, so everyone's out.
Well, it
having a good
definitely
time.
wasn't for show,
Yeah.
just what it was.
Probably beside the bed when you woke up in the morning or something.
It would be fair to say that when we were playing, particularly in Invercargill, whatever we pulled on for clothes, we'd just go and play in it. We didn't dress up to play normally. So, and we just dressed casually all the time. We didn't have a lot of money, so we weren't always going out and buying fancy clothes, were
Well, we
we?
spent it all on guitars, amplifiers and harmonicas, but
Yeah.
I reckon our street clothes were pretty sharp,
Well, that
looking at the
pink-
photographs.
Remember that pink jacket I had on when we went up to Deep Cove? That belonged to that joker I was in Waikeria with.
Yeah, well, that was another thing that happened. You'd see, I remember getting some. Was your jacket dyed by someone, or you got it off someone?
Yeah, I got it off a joker I was in Waikeria.
'Cause
He
I
used
remember-
to come down to High Street.
I remember buying white jeans and taking them out to my mother's copper, and saying, "Can you get some yellow dye or something?" And I ended up with these bright yellow jeans
Yeah,
because
that's
you'd boil up the old-fashioned copper.
And
with
leopard
the-
skin belt.
Yeah, that's right. But you
Yeah.
would actually get white clothing
Yeah.
and dye it, whatever colour you want,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
couldn't buy it. And I guess bright yellow jeans and Invercargill in those days kind of stood out in the crowd.
It was like the Teddy Boy days. I used to have the Ming blue socks. And
That's right, the fluorescent things.
Well, when you were saying that this place is actually smaller than you remember, can I get you to just comment on that and what it's like to be back here? What it's like to remember back that far?
Well, I probably haven't been in the Centennial Hall for over 40 years, and my memory, I sort of thought that it was massive. And if I look at it now, I think it would be fair to say it's probably 30 metres wide by about 45 metres long. It's still quite a big building, but I can remember it as being bigger than this. So I'm a little bit surprised. Although because there's a factory in here now, that's probably making it look a lot smaller with everything all over the floor.
I think compared to the local dance halls like the Orange Hall and the Buffalo Hall, it might be 2 or 3 times the size
would
of
be,
those.
yes, it would
be.
So that's why it would appear
they
much
used to
larger.
run everything. Well, a lot of things down here, didn't they? 'Cause
They,
it was
they would
so
have
big.
big music venues here, shows here regularly.
Would this have been the biggest venue you ever played?
No.
What was the biggest show you ever
The biggest hall we played in, I think, would be Dunedin, the
The
agricultural hall up
in
there.
Dunedin,
That was a bit bigger than
huge.
this, yeah, quite a bit bigger.
And they'd have 3 bands in there on a Saturday night, like,
Yes.
whoever they might be with us, and that would be packed,
And how did that affect your performance? Did you feed off that?
Oh,
Yes,
heck
we
yeah,
did.
heck yeah.
We were very popular in Dunedin, and in the Ag Hall, you would have the audience actually screaming when you come on stage. It was just electric,
It was good.
How did you find the big crowds, Barry?
To be perfectly honest, it didn't bother me. I was always half drunk. I just play the guitar.
He was there to play the guitar.
Yeah.
No, but I think those big crowds, and I'm sure, and that's fair to say. Like, I'm still working in bands regularly in where I live in Melbourne. If you've got a big crowd and they're responsive, it raises your game a fair bit. You go, wow, this is good. So you just up it a few more notches.
people
Maybe you
appreciate
feed
it.
off each other. Maybe the
that's
band
an
feeds
age-old
off
thing, isn't it?
the crowd, which then feeds off the band, and it keeps on ramping up.
But I remember, like, here, it being a particularly, because all the busload of people down from Dunedin, it was like half the Cellar Club arrived, plus all the Invercargill crew, and Skunk and Roy and Graham Paul and all those people from the Antarctic Angels were all out there. So it was like the Dunedin crowd, the Invercargill crowd took up the front half of the hall. So
Lowbridge was even on stage.
yeah, there's photographs of
One's
him
up
on stage with
yeah.
Warren Grant. So of course, I think our performance here was probably, from memory, pretty good because we had all that support.
Yes,
That were all up the front. We looked out and said, God, they're our people. It was
Plus,
great.
with the size of the place, you could really wind it up, You play it sort of full volume.
And I
whereas
think looking at that photograph that was in the paper, there was a fair whack of backline gear behind us.
Yeah.
Like they
You had
looked
2
like,
amplifiers stood up.
that big bass rig and all that stuff.
I had a quad cabinet and 2 amplifiers end on end, and another two 12-inch speakers up above. And it was really good.
That was Richie, the mad scientist, you know, seeing how we could link all this shit together.
Okay, we better leave it there, guys.
Thank
You don't answer that stuff. You got anything
Nah, but I remember, you know, standing out there and seeing the underdogs and that and watching them play and enjoying it. I remember what's his name? He survived from throat cancer.
He lives up near me.
Yeah. Okay. The shiny bits weren't here, were they, guys?
No,
But this alley out here, this is where Benny and his man were standing.
Yep.
And this is
And
where
there's
you
a-
used to drink beer.
That's right. We duck around here.
Actually, we used to go into that room, I think.
This thing was a toilet or something.
Yeah, and we had a party in there, and that Sandy Edmonds was in there, and
Oh.
Kevin Templeton was in there.
Well, she'd have been safe then.
Yeah, we had a party in here.
This is the change room. This is shit house and this is singing. I mean, this is luxury. And this is where we comb the hair. That's it.
That's it. And everybody was cramped in here.
And they've still got the sign on the wall here for Vaughan.
What is it?
Keep your powder dry.
No, but see, this is probably the same paint job.
Yeah.
Same light bulb. There you go. Same little bit of mould on the roof. It's perfect.
That's it.
I mean, when you think of it, yeah, this is where you get changed, boys.
Well, they had the basin, so it was pretty obvious that that would be like a change room.
Yeah.
Very basic, though, isn't it?
But that's it. And that'll be the same old power board. And,
But look at that. That's really it's nothing, is it?
and down the steps you go out and mingle with the folks
That's right.
down here. That'll be how you got out, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, can't now.
No.
Oh, you get you guys to go down the stairs and walk out then?
Okay.
Oh, hang on, I just got to get rid of my...
And she
Okay.
came
Great.
rushing out.
Let's get out of here. I call myself Elvis these days. Maybe 70s, I was gone by then.
Yeah, no, I can't remember that.
But that's probably that same backdrop that was painted
Yeah,
over and over.
Yeah.
And I love that shot that was in the paper. You know, it's the whole sheet was cut off. It's, you know, the self.
What you remember about it?
Well, this is the entrance of the Centennial Hall where people used to come in. There are 3 ticket booths like this, and there's about 4 or 5 doors. Now, when big shows were on here, there would be queues out here with 3 attendants in the booths selling tickets as quickly as they could, and as you went in, somebody taking the tickets off you. So people used to move in here really quickly, and if you didn't get here in time, you'd be away back on the street, which it would probably take a half an hour to get in. So I think probably thousands would have fitted in here when there was something big on. She's all gone now, isn't it? All run down.
Well, Roy and I, we were having a party down in Ern Street, and we just got on his motorbike. I was on the back, and we came down here. There was some show on, and Roy just come in here instead of stopping.
Buying a ticket at the ticket.
Buying a ticket, we just rode in on his motorbike, and we asked off. The next thing I remember, out here with the cops, old Frank Oliver. We got carted off.
Another ticket. Frankie got the boys again.
Yeah, so that was an interesting night.